20th Century Fox presents. From hell. Hey, that reminds me. I once had a small part in a film. I think I might have told you this before, folks. It was a film called Shady. Shady, S-H-A-D-E-Y. And it was a film about this remote viewer. Anyway, yeah, I think I've told you this before, but let me finish. Where we shot some of the scenes, namely the garage, because I was supposed to be a mechanic's assistant, yeah, called Winston. Well, that garage, apparently, that location was actually the mortuary where the bodies were taken for these Whitechapel murders. Yes, Jack the Ripper's victims were all taken to this mortuary in Whitechapel, and that's where the Masonic Lodge arranged for us to film some scenes in a film called Shady, in which I had a small part about a remote viewer. Yes, you know what remote viewing is, and this film's all about the Masonic Lodge. The robber baron in the Gilded Age, entrepreneur or iconoclast. Of the many changes in American life during the last 3 or 4 decades of the 19th century, few were as significant as the growth and the industrialization of the American economy. As explanations of these momentous developments, historians have stressed such factors as the abundance of America's natural resources and the availability of labor, capital, and transportation facilities. They have been uncertain, however, regarding the importance to assign to the human factor, to business leadership, as a cause for the remarkable expansion of the American economy. Influenced by the writings of such persons as Henry DeMarest Lloyd, Charles A. Beard, and Vernon L. Parrington, by the progressive movement's critique of certain aspects of big business, and by the collapse of the nation's economy in 1929, many historians have been highly critical of America's business leadership during the post-Civil War era, and have placed particular emphasis on their accounts of the economic history of the period on the unethical practices that businessmen allegedly employed. Businessmen have been viewed, to quote Hal Bridges, as being, on the whole, a set of avaricious rascals who habitually cheated and robbed investors and consumers, corrupted government, fought ruthlessly amongst themselves, and in general carried on predatory or even predatory activities comparable to those of the robber barons of medieval Europe. My, how times have not changed.
There are U.S. mortgage-backed securities amongst the toxic assets, business loans, ordinary mortgages, all stuff the banks think are very unstable materials. The plan is that all this will stabilise the bank, encourage it to lend, boost the economy. It means the government is even more exposed than it was to the economic storms.
Whilst the taxpayer does face risks as a result, the cost of doing nothing is far greater.
The government has already loaned the banking system well over £200 billion. Today, in terms of what it's invested or spent in the banking system, it's already a tidy sum. Another £20 billion was added. Then you look at what the government is guaranteeing or insuring in the banking system. On top of the existing figure, today, another £325 billion in
That's a lot of money.
and potentially tomorrow, another £300 billion more.
A trillion at least.
This, for comparison, is what the government expects in its last forecast to take in tax.
Robber barons are back.
To convey the enormity of these figures.